Hi there, Bret Starr here from the Starr Conspiracy. I hope you're doing well today, wherever in the world you are. I'd like to thank Inspiring Workplaces for having me as a speaker today. I'm very excited to be here, very excited to be participating in an Inspirathon. I think we could all use inspiration, myself included, from time to time, and especially in 2021. And I'm just really happy to have the opportunity to talk about a topic that inspires me a lot. First of all, if you'll indulge me, a little bit about the Starr Conspiracy. We're a strange mashup of analysts and management consultants and marketing folks who work only in the field of work tech. So mostly working with work tech vendors who are building solutions to change the future of work. And we also get the opportunity to talk to a lot of people who are implementing these solutions and who are implementing other strategies to create transcendent work experiences, inspiring work experiences. And yeah, that's what we do for a living. So today I wanted to talk about 6 topics that are near and dear to my heart. Those topics are the abundance mindset, situational awareness, locus of control, chaos, waste, and our own initiative for transforming the agency in 2020, my agency, the Starr Conspiracy, which we call One Team. So I want to talk first about the abundance mindset. And all these things, all these topics I'm going to talk about, by the way, are related, but they're all underpinned by this notion of the abundance mindset, which to me is the most important of all of the topics that I'm talking about. Some hallmarks of the abundance mindset are thinking big versus small, seeing plenty versus lack, experiencing happiness in other people's achievements as opposed to resentment, embracing change as opposed to fearing change, being proactive instead of reactive. We need to have a learning mindset as opposed to a knowing it all mindset. Focus on what is working and the opportunities that you can pursue as opposed to what is not working and the problems that you may be experiencing. If anything, in 2020, I think the abundance mindset was a tool that allowed us to make some really good decisions at the Starr Conspiracy. You know, in 2020, we had the opportunity, all of us, to really rewrite the script for anything that we were trying to achieve, whether it was what we were trying to achieve personally in our careers, whether we were trying to drive a business forward, whether we were trying to help people. 2020 really gave us the opportunity to enlarge, change whatever we wanted to change. And the part of the abundance mindset that I think is the most significant, touches on some of the other concepts that I'm going to talk about today, is this notion of focusing on what is working and the opportunities that a situation presents, rather than focusing on what is not working or the problems that are created by any set of challenges that we might face now, that we faced in 2020, or that we'll face in the future. I would just ask you to think about a typical leadership meeting. Most of these meetings are focused on what's not working and how to fix it. But what if they were focused on what is working and how to build on those opportunities? Well, when you focus on what's working and the opportunities as opposed to what you need to fix, the problems, really 2 things happen. I've seen this day in and day out. First of all, the organization innovates and evolves based on developing strengths and opportunities. And because of that, many of the problems melt away, because those problems only existed in the context of the fact that you weren't developing your strengths and opportunities. The problems simply become irrelevant. So if you start a meeting by saying, what are the 10 biggest problems that we need to fix? Often those problems that you're trying to fix are manifestations of something that's not really working anyway. Whereas if you look at what's working and you make all of your decisions based on taking what's working and using it as a platform to innovate, then that often takes your business, your life, etc., in a direction that make those problems irrelevant. You get a lot farther by focusing on opportunities rather than problems. And so when you think about this abundance mindset, I just kind of want that to underpin everything that I talk about after this, because the next important concept that I want to talk about is situational awareness. Situational awareness is a critical tool for individuals and for businesses across multiple contexts. And when you put situational awareness together with locus of control, and all of that is driven with an abundance mindset, I really do believe it makes people and companies and groups and organizations of any kind unstoppable. But what is situational awareness? Situational awareness is the perception of environmental elements and events with respect to time and space, the comprehension of their meaning, and the projection of their future status. If I were to put that definition in simple terms, I'd say that situational awareness is taking a look around, quickly understanding what's going on, and anticipating what happens next. If you see a team struggling, can you connect all the dots and figure out why they may be struggling? And then can you project forward and guess what the outcome will be if things keep going the way they are? When you take situational awareness and you put it together with the next concept, which is locus of control, then you really start to see the pattern of what differentiates people who know they can make a difference and do something about it from those who don't and don't. So locus of control in psychology is the degree to which people believe they have control over the outcome of events in their lives, as opposed to external forces beyond their control. So in other words, locus of control is whether you believe that things happen to you, which is an external locus of control, or believe that you make things happen, which is an internal locus of control. So when you put those things together, situational awareness and locus of control, you have a powerful framework for success. Simply put, high situational awareness combines with an internal locus of control to create unstoppable humans, unstoppable teams, and unstoppable organizations. So just think about that. If you have a low level of situational awareness and you also have an external locus of control, you're unlikely to understand what is going on and what's going to happen. And it might not matter anyway, because even if you did, you wouldn't think you could do anything about it. You view everything as uncontrollable and things that are happening to you as opposed to things that you're making happen. That ability to say, I know what's going on, I see the opportunity, and I know I can do something about it. That's what happens when you're able to combine locus of control, situational awareness, and abundance mindset into a daily way of being. The reason I think that's important is because of chaos. And when I say chaos, I'm not talking about all the stuff that's happening to us right now. Chaos in and of itself is not a bad thing. It just depends on how you respond to it. Chaos is a natural, state of being. Furthermore, I would say that the future of work is chaos. Here are some of the factors that drive chaos. When we talk about work and companies, really all work boils down to projects. It doesn't matter whether you're, building a rocket or writing a white paper or developing software. Chaos in that context can really be measured or defined by three factors. The first is lead time. How long does it take to get a project done? In many organizations, the amount of time that it takes to complete a project is long. And when you have a long lead time, that means a lot of things can happen in that time, which creates chaos. If it takes a long time to complete a project, the requirements can change, the people working on the team can change, technologies can change, ideas can change. A lot of different things can happen. So the longer that a project takes, the longer the lead time, the more chaos there is inside an organization. The second factor that drives chaos is the project mix. The more different kinds of projects that you are likely to work on, or that a team is likely to work on, or that an organization is likely to work on, the more chaos there is in that mix. If you combine a big project mix with long lead times, then you get a compounding of chaos. The chaos becomes greater. The last factor in chaos is variability in demand. And that means how frequently does demand for different projects change. So if every project that I work on takes a long time, if every project my team or my agency works on takes a long time, and there's also a bunch of different kinds of projects that I need to work on in any given, day, week, month, year, etc. And on top of all of that, I never know what kind of project I'll be working on next for any number of reasons. Those three things together, depending on how much variance there is in each one, combine to create a lot of inherent chaos in an organization. So when I say that an organization is inherently chaotic, most organizations are inherently chaotic, and that's just a fact. That's not a bad thing. When you think about, the abundance mindset and situational awareness and locus of control, you can't control chaos. Chaos is just a thing. It's just a reality of life, and chaos is accelerating because we all have to, be able to move between different types of work more frequently than we did 10, 20, 30 years ago. But you can flow with chaos. So what happens when you view chaos as a problem? The only work that counts is the work that is done for customers. And when I say counts, I mean it's the only work that you get paid for as a company. And so all the work that you do to make your work possible may be great and may feel and may even be super important. But at the end of the day, it's invisible to your customer. When companies see chaos as a problem and they spend their time focused on the issues created by chaos, when they spend all of their time resisting and fighting the chaos, they create models and processes that generate tons of waste. So what happens in organizations is they create way too much hierarchy. Another root cause is too many departments. And so when a company says, well, we need a department for this and a team for that and a team for this, and they need to be separate and they need to have different goals and different numbers to measure them, those departments become a form of waste because work comes into that department and gets stuck until it gets handed off to another department. People tend to over specialize and skill sets are required by that department and don't have enough insight and empathy to the other types of work that get applied to a project by other groups. And so they just really start to get a very narrow view and a very narrow slice of how their work fits into the bigger picture. Just too much process in general, too much system, and too much specialization. And so all of these things tend to follow a map where when you create, a significant number of departments side to side and a significant amount of hierarchy top to bottom, then in that context, it seems to make a lot of sense to have process systems and specialized skill sets that, make that system stronger. So what happens when you accept chaos and find the opportunities in all the madness? For the Starr conspiracy, 2020 was a turning point, a true turning point in a 20-year history in our agency. For 20 years, we've been fighting the chaos. And in 2020, we decided to embrace it and flow with it and make the changes that are necessary to pursue the opportunities that are presented by the chaos. So we embraced the chaos and we focused on the opportunities that it creates. We became situationally aware and we unleashed our internal locus of control in order to become the agency that we've always wanted to be. The manifestation of all that stuff for us was something that we call One Team. So One Team started as a response to how we needed to come together to get work done in the middle of a once in 100-year pandemic. We weren't thinking about One Team at the time as a different way of working that we would permanently implement to take advantage of all the opportunities we've ever been presented, but it became that for us very quickly. First of all, we just started with a work experience. When March rolled around in 2020 and the world was going crazy, we stopped right there and said, whatever plan we have for 2020, whatever we put on a spreadsheet around what kind of revenue we were going to hit and what kind of profit we were going to drive and what special initiatives we were putting in place to bring new services to market or whatever, all of that needs to go out of the window. And the only thing that we need to focus on is taking care of our people. We started with a work experience because we knew that if our people weren't happy, then ain't no one going to be happy. It takes people having a good work experience to create a good customer experience. And it takes a good customer experience to create a successful business. By eliminating departments side to side and eliminating hierarchy from top to bottom, we just create a lot more flow in the organization so that people could go where the work was. And so we didn't lock up work artificially within these departments and create all these additional levels of bureaucracy that work had to flow through before it found its way to its ultimate value point, which was the customer. From the inside out, we retooled and we eliminated processes. So when I say we retooled, that means that we changed all of the software that we were using inside the company because it was overly complex. And that created a lot of systems burden. When we eliminated hierarchy and eliminated departments because people were working more closely together, there wasn't that need for these, burdensome systems. And also we eliminated processes because a lot of those processes stifled creativity and they stifled collaboration. And so by locking our intellectual property into a process where something has to be done the same way every time something was done, we missed the opportunity to innovate how it could be done. And then finally, we implemented a day structure. Look, the world is different. It's just harder. There's a lot more friction in life. A few things that we put in place to make sure that people had uninterrupted time to work, uninterrupted time to plan, and uninterrupted time to rest and to take care of the things that they need to take care of in their lives. Was really focused on day structure, knowing that people were going to need more time to coordinate the things that they needed to take care of in their personal lives, and that time just didn't exist in a traditional 5-day work week. We shortened our work week to a 4-day work week. The second thing was that we implemented quiet time. And quiet time is a 90-minute block of time that is on either side of lunch. So like on Monday and Wednesday, it's before lunch. On Tuesday and Thursday, it's after lunch. So when you combine it with lunch, it's 2.5 hours. And during quiet time, people are not allowed to communicate with one another inside our company. So that is a block of time where people are free to either flow on work uninterrupted, or they're free to take care of the things that they need to take care of at home so that they can bring their full selves to their work when they're working. Another interesting outcome of our day structure was that there were just fewer meetings. And when I think about meetings, I also realized that the elimination of hierarchy and the elimination of departments also had a significant impact on meetings. The less hierarchy you have and the fewer departments you have, the fewer meetings you're going to have, because a lot of those meetings were really about trying to drive effective communication between departments or trying to drive effective communication up and down the hierarchy, making sure that everyone is aligned. Well, if everyone's doing the same stuff and working together, then everyone's always inherently aligned. So we didn't set out to eliminate meetings. Meetings kind of fell away because their significance went down because the things that we needed to meet about went down. So meetings really became conversations and collaboration about work. 2020 presented us with a significant opportunity to change the way that we work and to focus on what's important. When I look at one team and the work that we went through to implement one team, and kind of measure, was it successful or not, and are we going to continue doing it? First of all, absolutely. I mean, people are happier. We can't imagine working the way that we worked prior to 2020 ever. We're just happier. We get more work done. Our work is better, but also our clients are happier. So we produce better work and have better relationships with our clients because all of these institutions that were put in place to tame the chaos have been stripped away. And so we're able to spend a lot more time collaborating directly with our clients and producing work that they value. And so our clients are happier. And oh yeah, by the way, in a year where we threw away our business plan and said, we don't really care about that. What we care about is, keeping everyone on the boat and making sure that we create a great work experience, the best that can be created in the environment that we're in. In a year where we basically stopped caring about business performance, or at least, put it in the back seat based on the multiple crises we were facing, our business actually performed great. This amazing thing happens when you stop pursuing the metrics of a business directly and trying to fix all the problems that you think are leading up to, this light on the dashboard turning red or that one turning yellow, but instead just really focus on the people and the work and the customers, and seeing all of the opportunities in an inherently chaotic, business. Amazing things happen. Because not only are you able to achieve, the opportunities of the best way to work and the best relationship that you can have with customers, but it has the additional benefit of also driving all the business success that you ever wanted to drive. And so I just want to conclude by saying that these are not, overly esoteric, new agey philosophies. These are very useful tools for understanding how to make the best decisions and work in the most effective way in a chaotic world, and especially when your business is inherently chaotic. Having an abundance mindset, stop thinking about problems and start thinking about opportunities. Don't ask yourself what's broken and how do we fix it, but start asking yourself what's working and how can we build on it. Having a strong sense of situational awareness, taking a look around, figuring out what's going on, and thinking about what's going to happen next if things keep going on the way they are. Taking agency, having a strong internal locus of control. It's not enough just to know that people make things happen, that life just doesn't happen to people, that people make things happen. It's not enough just to know that. You have to take the steps to clear all the obstacles preventing people from doing what they want to do and what they know is right. And so if you are fortunate to have a group of people who have a strong internal locus of control, then let them exercise that control by removing all of that management burden, all those processes, the unnecessary hierarchy, the unnecessary departments, etc. Let them act on their strong internal locus of control. Chaos. Understand the amount of inherent chaos in your company, embrace it, look for the opportunities it presents, and build around the chaos. Don't try to fight it, but look for the opportunities in it and let it guide you towards innovation and evolution. Think about waste. Embracing chaos will reveal much of the waste in your company. Just like, the way meetings melted away for the Starr conspiracy. By flattening the organization, eliminating departments, eliminating hierarchy, getting rid of systems burden, process burden, administrative burden. Suddenly the meetings became unnecessary, and it shows that they were a waste to begin with. But just by changing our mindset and making the decisions that flowed with that changed mindset, a lot of waste revealed itself and melted away without us having to take any action whatsoever. So don't back down from a big idea because you think people are afraid of change. That's patronizing. When you are afraid to do what you know is right based on your situational awareness and your locus of control and your desire to pursue opportunities, when you back off from that big idea because you think people fear change, it's patronizing because chances are they want the same things fixed that you do. They see the same opportunities that you do. And it takes all of us moving forward with confidence based on the fact that we know that we can have an impact, that we can achieve outcomes together. It takes all of us willing to pursue that big idea. You can't get to where you want to go, and people can't get to where they want to go if they're hiding the big idea that they really want to talk about and implement. And finally, start with a team. As I said before, if your people ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So give people uninterrupted time to work, uninterrupted time to plan, and uninterrupted time to rest. And when you do, then the time that they spend working will be incredibly more productive than it was before, when they were bouncing back and forth between all of these different obligations in their personal lives and their work lives, etc. So I hope that you found some value in the conversation that we had today. I hope that some of these tools that we talked about, the abundance mindset, situational awareness, locus of control, chaos, waste, and our own experience with one team, I hope that maybe there's one or two ideas in there that caught your mind and that you might want to explore further. My name is Bret Starr. I'm the CEO and founder of the Starr Conspiracy. I'm always available to talk with anyone about these ideas or anything else. All of my superpowers flow from conversations with other people. So if you ever want to follow up with me and have a conversation about any of these topics, I welcome the opportunity. Enjoy the rest of the Inspirathon. Thank you for your time today. Let's have, and let me rephrase that. Let's make an amazing 2021. Let's make it happen. Thank you.